What's up, FOA Squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Today, guys, I'm going to be walking you through the changes that I recently made to the car. Whenever I think to make changes to the car, it's to make things a lot more accessible so that living in this small space would be a lot less challenging, so to speak. So I'm going to explain the changes that I made as I go along. So let's start with the front passenger side on the floor area. All right, guys, what now occupies my front passenger floor space is my Jackery, my lunch bag, my water bottle, as well as my thermal kettle. All right, my Jackery, I moved my Jackery to the front because it was in the back on the floor area on the passenger side. I moved it to the front because it's much easier for me to access the outlets on the Jackery. I have the Jackery faced upward so that the outlets are facing up. It's easy for me to be right here in the driver's seat and reach over, plug in my trimmers to cut my hair, plug in my phone to charge my phone. It's just a simple reach now. As opposed before, when it was back there behind the passenger seat, I had to reach and feel my way to plug it in and all that. And it was just such a hassle. I would then have to get up and just make a whole new movement just to plug in anything in the Jackery. So it's much easier and much accessible right here up front. My lunch bag, I had to house it somewhere because I had it in the back behind this seat on the floor, on the bed. And again, it's just so much easier because I have things in here that I eat, like the almond butter and jelly that I recently bought. Now I can just reach, open my lunch bag, make me a sandwich or whatever, and it's just a lot easier. My water bottle was all the way in the back towards the hatch. Whenever I needed some water, I had to either climb in the back, get the water bottle, or get out of the car and go to the back, lift the hatch up and get the water. My thermal kettle is used to be again in the back on the floor. This is something that I'm going to be using on a every 2-day basis because every time I shave, I'm going to heat up some water. I don't know if you're familiar with men's shaving, but it's better to shave your face with warm water or hot water actually, because it soothes your face and it gives you a much better shave. Ever since I moved into my car and started shaving and using cold water, I haven't been getting the cleanest of shaves when I shaved. So now I'm going to heat that up. I have my water, I have my thermal kettle right up front. It's just a matter of a simple reach and grab now, instead of me having to make all these over movements or getting out of the car and going and get it. So those 4 things up front in the passenger floor area makes things much more accessible to me. All right, moving on, let's go to the back of the car and I'll show you the changes that I made in the back. All right, guys, the biggest change that I made to the car was I decided to make the bed half the space instead of taking up the entire space of the back of the car. I now have room to put my large clean clothes bag as well as my laptop bag, and also I can now have my food storage bin in the car as well. Now, the main reason why I made that change is because I found myself sleeping on one half or part of the bed anyway. I'm a side sleeper for the most part, and I wasn't using the entire bed space. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to half it out, and I'm going to use that additional space to take that big gray clothing bag, which was on the floor behind me, the driver's seat, and It wasn't too much of an inconvenience because, you know, I had to reach under this car seat here, this car seat that when it was down, it left very little room for me to go inside the bag and get different clothes out. And when you're talking about getting some socks out there, some underwear out there, your t-shirts out there, your pants out of there, it was a lot of reaching and grabbing and not being able to see exactly what you're pulling on and grabbing on. But now having it out in the opening where I can easily zipping it down and easily go into it and dig out and grab things that I need, it makes it so much easier and so much accessible. The dirty clothes bag is not a problem because you don't need to pull anything out. You're putting in your dirty clothes, and once that bag is full, I just grab that entire bag out and take it into the laundry. But now my bag is there. It also gave me a little bit of space to put my food pantry bin in there, since I am attempting now to cook a little more inside the car. And so that's nice to have back there as well. I slept on that bed like as it is now, 3 nights now. And it's plenty of space for me to, even when I'm tossing and turning and switching from my right side to my left side, it is more than enough space for me. I still have the length of the car that I had. That didn't change. So it just made it a lot easier, and it freed up some space for me to put some other things alongside the bed. Now I have one more area to show you guys. So let's take a look at that area. All right, guys, because I made the bed 3/4 of the size of the car, it now allowed me to put my small seat up, my 40 seat up, and utilize that space. Now also it freed up my foot space. Right now you see some bottled water, my tennis shoes, my rice cooker, and another little dish. The rice cooker normally would not be there. I just cooked some spaghetti in that. And now on the seat, I'm mainly going to house my gym bag and my towel. Right now you also see some packages that I got from UPS, and it just gave me more space. So with that back seat, the smaller seat, being able to stay up is another alternative for me if I actually did not want to be up here in the front seat with the steering wheel here. I can actually go in the back and sit in that seat. And also the main benefit of having that small seat up is that now the next time that I cook, I'm going to cook in the back. I'm going to use my bed as a surface with my cutting boards, and I'll be able to sit in that chair, and I'll be able to, even though I'm gonna have to turn like slantwise or whatever, it's still going to give me much more cooking area than being up front. And like you saw in my last cooking video, cooking the spaghetti up front here, this will allow me to use my bed as a surface. I should be able to have enough space to, you know, prepare food and then cook it, put it in the rice cooker, etc. So it really benefits me to have that seat available. And also, again, if I want to go back there, and I have that little hanging thing that I bought that has a little tray that folds out, I can easily put my phone or my tablet on top of that and watch a movie or just do things in general on my tablet and my phone, as opposed to sitting here in the front seat trying to do all those things. I think it would be a lot more comfortable to be able to go back on that seat there. I can still like take it back and put it in a much comfortable position if I'm watching a movie or something. So it's really beneficial for me to be able to do that. Those are the changes that I made. I feel like all of the changes that I made are very beneficial to my living in this car. All the changes that I made make things a lot more accessible in this car, and I'm pretty happy with this new layout now, and I think this is going to be the layout for as long as I am living in this car. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. As always, thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys. You know that, and I'll see you guys the next time.